You know, they say that a knife doesn't belong to you until it actually cuts you. Well, it belongs to me now. Look at that. So I'm going to say this right now. This is, without a doubt, and it's probably going to be true for a really, really long time unless I get another one from them, the nicest knife I have ever owned. And I say that because this knife is custom. If you haven't had a custom knife made for you yet, like this is the very first custom knife I've ever gotten, and there is something about having a knife that was made specifically for you and you know that no one else is gonna own that knife. This is one of those things that I know I'm probably gonna pass down to my kid and hopefully will pass down to his kid. I just have to give a big shout out to the person that made this, Chad from CK Knife and Tool. We follow each other on Instagram, never met in person, and one day he just reached out to me and said, you know, I really like your videos. Would you mind me making you a knife? And who's gonna say no to that? I didn't tell him how I wanted it to look. I just told him, just do what you do. And before you know it, this welcome package comes in the mail with a whole bunch of stuff, and the knife was in there. And when I looked at it and opened it, I said, this is a knife that I am going to keep forever. So I urge you, before we even get into the whole review and everything, go follow him on Instagram. He also runs a YouTube channel where he shows his knives and all that good stuff. So make sure you follow. I'm gonna put all of his credentials right here. So before we dive into the awesomeness that is this knife, I do want to just show the other stuff that he sent in this welcome package, because I mean, he's such a good guy. I want to kind of give him his flowers and thank him for all this really cool gear. One, he sent my logo and he printed it on this piece of aluminum. This is really nice. It's just I'm gonna put this in the back somewhere in just a little bit. He also sent me a letter kind of thanking me for my videos, and also just talking about the knife and what it's made of, and we'll get into this in just a bit. He also sent a couple of his shirts. I haven't even opened them yet. I've been dying to open this stuff, but I've been waiting to do the video first. So he sent me a black shirt with his logo on the front, and it says making knives, friends and memories on the back. So that's one shirt. He sent me another shirt that also has his other logo as well. This one is in green, so it has this logo on the front, and then on the back he has CK Knife and Tool on the back right there. And then he also sent me a hoodie. And yeah, I don't know if y'all know, but I really like hoodies a lot. I wear hoodies almost like exclusively whenever it's cold out. But yeah, so same thing, CK Knife and Tool logo on the front, and the American blue flag in the back. Y'all see that. And then he also sent me some patches and stickers, which I already put in the vehicle. So I'm not gonna show you that because that's already all put up nicely. So let's get into the knife. So before we even get into the knife, you have to give it up for the holster that this thing came in. Black on the back, orange topographic pattern on the front. I think he has seen my past videos and realized how much I like topographic pattern on stuff. But how many of us don't like topo patterns, especially here in the overland space, right? But that pattern in and of itself makes this my dedicated overland knife. This didn't come with a clip. He told me that this is not really a knife that you would carry. This is more like a knife that you keep with all of your other knives for like cooking and whatnot. But I told him, no, I absolutely want to carry this because I found that when I'm overlanding and I'm bringing like up my bushcraft knife or whatever, I barely ever use it except to like chop wood, but otherwise I never really do any bushcrafting things. The knife that I do use a lot when we're at camp are my cooking knives, and if I can carry this with me, it'll just make it a lot more convenient for me to have a knife that I have on hand without me having to dig it out from all of my other kitchen stuff. So I asked him what clip I can put on here so I can carry it, and he said, you know what, I have a couple of extra clips, I'll send you some and you can choose which one you like best. So I decided to go with this particular clip, easy to remove as well. There's just a little clip here, press the sides and then this opens up, and I put it in this orientation because I do want to kind of scout carry this and kind of keep it right here, and I'll be able to just pull it out when I need it. Speaking of pulling out the knife, he has seen my past videos and realized that in all my knife reviews, I am always testing the retention of the knives, and so many of them will sometimes fall out of their sheath. And he said, believe me, bro, this one is gonna hold. I mean, look at that. It will not come out at all. I don't like knives that are kind of loose that they might fall out, and this is perfect because it's not moving at all. It'll stay in its sheath and I won't have to worry about it falling out and I'm losing it somewhere on the trail. Look at this knife. This is why he said it's not really a knife that you carry, because it's not really a bushcrafting knife. It's more of a camp cooking kind of knife. Great for chopping, great for cutting, things like that. And what makes it special is he even put my logo on the knife itself. He put his logo in the back also. With my logo being on here, I feel like this is my knife, and it's a knife that I can pass down to my son, and hopefully he can pass it down to his kids one day, and hopefully this stays in the family for a very, very long time. This is a Santoku. The blade is made of a CPM S35VN steel. It is flat grind, full tang knife, obviously, right, with a wooden handle. The finish on this is a hand sanded satin. Now, I'm gonna be honest, if I were to ever ask Chad to make a knife for me again in the future, I would probably ask for a black blade. I'm a sucker for knives that have black coated blades. That being said though, if this knife was done in a black coated blade, it wouldn't look as good. Like the satin finish with the black walnut handle that he put on here just makes it look so classic, and it looks so good, especially paired with like a really bright orange sheath like this. The color combination on this thing is just killer. And knowing me, if he gave me the option to like choose what I wanted, I would have probably said black blade, and then I wouldn't have been as happy as I am just letting him do his thing, because he truly crafted a masterpiece right here. Now, what really got me though, outside of the looks, is the balance. Like, this has got to be the most comfortable knife I've ever held as far as balance goes. All my other knives, they're either sometimes too heavy on the front or too heavy in the back, and I want something that feels stable in my hand. Like when I first saw the knife, I loved it. Like I loved how it looked, but it wasn't until I took it out and I held it, I'm like, oh, this is sick. Like it just feels right. Like especially me, I have very skinny arms, so sometimes the heavier knives don't do it for me, but the feel of this just feels right. It's almost like it's in my hand, it's glued to my hand, and it's not coming out. It feels so stable, it feels so comfortable. There's no like fancy kind of places to put fingers, which never matches my fingers because I have thinner fingers than most people. So all the other knives that have the grooves for the fingers never matches mine, and so it ends up spreading my fingers apart. This doesn't have that. It's just a simple handle, and it feels so good in my palms. Now, I should also mention that I'm usually a sucker for micarta handles. Like my SE3 is a micarta handle knife, and I thought I would never look back. And yet now, feeling the black walnut, this feels good as well. See, for like bushcrafting and chopping wood and things like that, you want the micarta because it gives you that extra grip. It kind of digs into your palms a little bit. But when you're like cooking, preparing food, and you want that finesse, Like, this just feels more right. So I'm glad he went with the black walnut handle versus the micarta one. And finally, just one last piece of detail. He put these nickel silver pins in them, and it just looks so good. This is gonna be, without a doubt, my favorite knife, and it's just my kind of vibe. Especially put it together with this, locks in place, not going anywhere. Man, Chad, you definitely outdid yourself with this one. But anyway, that's it. Not much really for me to say about a knife, except that you are definitely gonna see me use this a lot in my future videos when we're out on the trail and I'm doing some cooking segments. You're gonna be seeing this knife put to use. In fact, I've been dying to use this knife since I got it. It's been sitting in my garage for the last 2 months because I have been holding back from using it until I had a chance to review it. I wanted it to look as new as possible for the video, but now that the video is out, I can finally start using this knife because I have been dying to. Chad, just thank you once again for this amazing knife. You have no idea how much this means to me and how I'm gonna treasure this for as long as I live. Consider getting a custom knife made. There's just something about it. Like, I love all the knives I've ever bought, but having my very first custom knife that was made for my style, fits my hand, and fits the way I use my knives, I know that if you were to get a custom knife made for someone that you love, someone that might really like knives, or gift it to yourself, and I can guarantee you won't be disappointed. So, Chad, CK Knife and Tool, hit him up, because whatever idea you might have, he can make it come to life, and I guarantee you're gonna hold on to that knife forever. In the meantime, please make sure you smash, actually, don't smash, go get a custom like button and hit that. Subscribe to our channel. Click that notification bell so we can let you be aware of new videos when they come out. And if it moves you, support us on Patreon. It gives you access to all of our videos before everyone else, and it gives you access to our live streams when we do them. And as always, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Baptism Overland. My name is Asia Sampson, and I will see you next time.